You have Sirius versus Stratgame. On one side, the Empire, who has been dominating multiplayer for a little bit here. They are taking the Steam Tank, but not the one you're used to, not the Master Engineer mount, and not the regular Steam Tank, but the Hellblaster Volley Gun variant. Interesting. Other than that, we've Balthazar Gelt with Searing Doom and Final Transmutation, Demigryph Knights with Halberds, double War Wagons, and then some Empire Knights, Knights of the Black Rose, and then a bunch of Spears and Halberdiers. The other side, for Bretonnia, pretty standard battle lines for them. For almost a year, they've been running about the same builds. Frontline of Men-at-Arms and Peasant Mobs, backed up by Peasant Bowmen, Healing Caster with Regrowth, Royal Hippogriff Knights, Alberic de Bordelot with his Braid of Bordelot, and then some Knights of the Realm, Grail Knights, and another Knight of the Realm on the far side. They're going to see if their Elite Knights and Lord can get through spam and healing versus the new Empire, who is relying on unbreakable armor-piercing chariots. Well. Two top-tier factions, pretty hard to complain about one or the other, as I usually do. I love complaining about things. On the far side, it looks like some cavalry is going to take free charges onto Umbrae Spearmen, get a little bit of damage out and start to run away as Knights of the Black Rose start to pursue. Trying to catch up to those Bretonnians, but that is a tall task, and now they're a little overextended and they do immediately get pulled back. They don't really want to deal with this, and that makes sense. Bretonnian archers come into range and start firing onto the Spearmen. These are unshielded Spearmen, actually, so just 30 armor, no shields. Hippogriffs land on the Knights of Black Rose. There are a million infantry around. That's really not a problem. The archers are just going to fire in, and if the Hippogriff Knights even start to take damage, they'll just get a regrowth, so it'll be completely fine. Overall, a good trade there for Bretonnia. But in comes a bit of a problem. Knights of the Realm fighting with Knights of the Black Rose. Searing Doom is going to hit them in the background. That is an awful lot of damage from that spell, and there's going to be a massive break over there. Meanwhile, the Steam Tank is rolling through the Peasant Bowman. Already one is Terror out. It looks like a second one is on its way. And Alberic is an anti-large armor-piercing duelist. Not something the Steam Tank really wants to deal with. So it'll scuttle away. But a big break for the Empire up there as they just rout off all of these Bretonnians. On the bottom side, however, it's going the exact opposite direction. The Empire Spears and Halberds have taken a ton of damage and are getting routed off, and they really didn't get much for their efforts. Royal Hippogriff Knights are rejoining Alberic. It looks like they're going to dive down onto this massive Empire cavalry charge. Just stop them in their tracks. Grail Knights joining into the fight too, and the Empire are taking a lot of damage. We'll see what the Demigryph Knights with Halberds can do. As something's getting cast over here. It looks like a Final Transmutation from Gelt. Is it overcast? Yes, it is. We need a regrowth quickly onto those Hippogriff Knights. It looks like Strat is right on top of it with a quick regrowth, but it gets canceled. He was trying to regrowth these Hippogriff Knights before they lose any models. Yeah, they're still fine. 10 out of 12. If they can get healing soon. Bounce power is about 50-50, slightly Empire favored, as Grail Knights are getting shellacked. Oh, crap, something terrible has happened to them. I can see the tree in the background, and yes, it is distracting, but I'm trying to muscle through it. Demigryph Knights plus this Steam Tank, I'm guessing. Apparently murdering the poor Grail Knights. They only have 800 value so far as they're getting worked on. Halberdiers getting close to routing. Steam Tank just rolling through wherever it pleases. It's used about half of its HP. In comes another big Searing Doom onto these grouped up Knights of the Realm and Grail Knights. Damn, that is a lot of damage. Bretonnia is starting to fall behind. Peasant mobs are terror routing. Oh, the couple other mobs are routing of their own accord. But the Demigryph Knights with Halberds, while we weren't looking, previously they had emerged victorious from a little scrap and then ran away. They are not feeling so good anymore. Very, very low, and of course, the Empire does not have any healing. They brought Balthazar Gelt, who is now getting dove on and surrounded by Knights of the Realm with Alberic right on top of him, and there's a bunch of War Wagons in here. This could be a bit of a disaster for the side of the Empire. Empire Knights taking big damage, going to rout any second now. War Wagons getting shellacked. One of them even terror routes, because the Hippogriff Knights are getting another regrowth. They're down to 6 models, and that overcast, oh, really hurts the damsel, almost makes her rout, but the overcast will get the Royal Hippogriff Knights out of here with a lot of HP. We'll see how much they can really heal up, though. With only 6 models, they're limited with what their max HP can be. Gelt took some serious damage from Alberic, who dives down to help out his Knights of the Realm against the Demigryph Knights. He does give him the Braid of Bordelot. Bonus versus large and a little bit of leadership, though that leadership doesn't look like it's going to be enough, as those guys are going to rout regardless. No, they managed to rally and stay in it for now. They're fighting on top of spears, getting shot at by War Wagons, and they're losing these Demigryph Knights with Halberds, who, you know, have also taken a lot of damage, to be fair. Royal Hippogriff Knights had a lot of HP, fighting next to their Grail Knight brethren, dealing with Knights of the Black Rose and Halberds and the Steam Tank, which has lost about a third of its HP and more, but Grail Knights are gone. The Hippogriff Knights are now surrounded by Halberdiers. Is there anything Bretonnia can do to clear out these infantry? It doesn't look like it. As we do have Knights of the Realm chasing off those war wagons in the distance and trying to rally peasant bowmen that are desperately needed to clear out Halberdiers. Alberic is taking a lot of damage from the Halberdiers, and it looks like Final Transmutation's coming for him now. It does hit. Doesn't hit the Hippogriff Knights as they get up into the sky, but Alberic's going to run away. It looks like he is going to rout even. We'll see if these Demigryph Knights with Halberds can keep him on the ground. That's usually a tall task for cavalry units. They're just not the best at keeping things on the ground, so yeah, Alberic will get in the sky and he'll be just fine. Hippogriff Knights with some healing, trying to carry, but the Steam Tank, Hellblaster Volley Gun runs down the Damsel of Life. This thing is at half HP. It's done a lot of work as it chases her, gets a couple cannon shots on her back. It's up to 1,800 value. Steam Tanks are kind of wild. We still have one healthy War Wagon, a half-health Steam Tank, a half-health Balsar Gelt. For the side of Bretonnia, Alberic could come back, but there's no healing for him as it looks like the Caster of Life is dead, and Gelt's going to walk him off the battlefield. Royal Hippogriff Knights dive down onto the Demigryph Knights with Halberds, immediately routing them, and now starting to deal with the Steam Tank. Getting some decent shots in onto it here and there, but then they have to back off as they get rear-charged by Halberdiers, and there's more Knights coming to help out, and War Wagons as well. The Hippogriffs have taken too much damage. The Bretonnians are just out of it. They don't have any power left as the Steam Tank is shooting the Hippogriffs as they walk away. Now it's surrounded by spears. Still has a War Wagon nearby. And Gelt, of course, can come back now that Alberic is gone. Bretonnians lost their lord. They lost their healing. They have a couple archers left who are poking down the Empire State troops, but there's nothing on this battlefield that can kill Steam Tank at this point. And I think it is GG. For Siriath, Balthasar Gelt 2,700, 2,300 on the Steam Tank, 1,500 on the Royal Hippogriff Knights. No, sorry, those are the Demigryph Knights with Halberds. The rest of the Cavs struggled a bit. War Wagons, neither of them paid for themselves. And Spearmen and Halberds did fine. For Strat Game, Alberic did okay, not a ton of value. Grail Knights also kind of got rolled, but the Royal Hippogriff Knights tried to solo carry the game. Knights of the Realm did pretty well. Archers did okay, I guess. And then Spearmen at Arms, like, more value than you would expect, but not enough. GG. Roar. Subscribe, yes, yes.